Hi guys, my name is Oshun and welcome to my channel. I am taking a long weekend break from my personal work as a psychic. I'm taking 4 days off initially. Who knows, it might be longer. But while I'm doing that, I guess I felt inspired to post more videos and more content this way, like speaking, just showing my personality. I wanted to talk a little bit about capitalism. I feel like as I get older that I really do fall in alignment with like socialism, communism. But some reason people think those things are like the devil. And I don't know why, because I think there's so many better systems or ways of being than capitalism, where people justify often like why people have to be homeless or why people have to be treated violently, killed, and just ass out in general. And so I want to reiterate that capitalism a lot of times is the reason that you're waking up feeling miserable, feeling like worthless, feeling like you have no purpose, because oftentimes we are forced to subscribe to jobs just to stay alive, just to not be homeless. There's a lot of things that are forcing our hand in means of modern day slavery. And a lot of times there's nothing we can do about it, even though people say we have a choice. We can always quit, find other jobs, or sometimes people have to work like 30 jobs just to survive. But a lot of what I think the problem is a lot of people do not have courage to question anything, or they always say, "Well, this is how it's always been. This is how it will always be," and this is very problematic because this makes me fearful for humanity, because it seems like we just lay down and die before we even die. And I feel like a lot of people should have way much more courage and means of standing up for their life. But in a lot of societies, we don't even value life if we think about it. Especially in America, where we send people off to war, and they get killed like nothing, and it's justified. You have people getting, mass shootings in America, and police terrorism. So all these things are happening to where we are pretty much we're normalizing like just not seeing life as valuable. So yeah, if you tell someone that, oh, you can be much more than this, you can have a purpose filled life, they're going to be, one, they're going to think that's a privilege. Two, they're going to think like, who the hell are you? Like, what fantasy are you living? And three, the people who have courage to do so, they're going to have a really hard time, because a lot of people are so hell bent on keeping these structures at play. So this is where it really bums me out when we talk about capitalism now. And I love watching this YouTuber. Her name is Alicia Renice, and she talks a lot about, black women not, not overworking ourselves in wage slavery and hustle culture, because it's not really for us to succeed anyway, and trying to rest more, example. And I can use more of this advice myself and learning to rest more, but it's so ingrained in us to overwork and think that we're going to be a millionaire, a billionaire, all these lies that people tell us. And again, I'm just making this video just to talk about these things more, because again, I think a lot of people have gotten so used to gaslighting themselves out of understanding what's truly at play in our lives. Like, we really have to notice how nonchalant everyone is about having empathy for themselves and others. Many people are probably even tired to do anything, and the people who are, they can only do so much, because it's still, in my mind, a very small group of people. So it's like, what do we do, even though we keep having this dialogue? So that's kind of where I stand with that. But yeah, again, you're not crazy. You're probably tired of these systems, and as many people say, it's not hypocritical to say that you don't like these systems, even being forced to partake in it. We're being forced to partake in it. And the thing that blows my mind is just people not understanding that there are so many ways of being that we can be, and we don't have to be subject to capitalism and being mean to each other or treating people poorly. It's just that people always find, in my mind, a way to justify it. And the fact that you have actual governments who will do by any means necessary to keep people, activists, and people who oppose current systematic issues, they do anything they can to silence activists and people who talk about it. So we're always back at square one. And it's a very scary thing in a way. because I want to touch more on videos of like why people are scared to stand up for themselves and others. And I think it is a scary thing. It's a lot of this is easier said than done. And I think it's a scary thing. So I think a lot of people, it's either you half live or you die fighting for what you really need and what you really want, trying to be fully human. And I don't think a lot of people know the pressure of what it means to really be alive if you're not like, in a lot of societies, like a white male. And a lot of them will say that their oppressed hits all the gun violence. I don't know, because patriarchy and white supremacy is not good for anybody in my mind. But if we think about it, like it's just all bad. And so yeah, I don't know, in my mind it's like the more that you like, you have to choose. Basically I'm saying if you want to live, it's almost like choosing to die for something instead, because we're only half living when we are being silent, being too passive. Which a lot of people say, oh, that's how you stay out of trouble. Not really. That's the saying goes, where if you don't say anything, they will say you died and you loved it. And so I really stand on the side of history, where it really impinds on our choices as individuals and as groups, as a collective, as the choices we make every day. And I think it's challenging because we're always showered with all this celebrity culture and like trying to be like them, that we forget like, oh no, I'm in the working class, I'm in the poor class, I need to be fighting these systems. So that wakes me up every day, that I get pulled into like glamorous things and things like that, and I'm like, oh no, we got to really fight these systems continuously, or it won't make any sense to keep going just the way we're going, in denial and delusion. And it's very much like the Matrix, red pill, blue pill. And unfortunately, I think we still have a long way to go, because a lot of people are choosing to stay asleep. Um, but all of this change to me takes hard conversation. But more later, because I can go on forever about all this. But I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend and loving on yourself more, because the whole point I'm trying to make is too that you really have to steal your time back. Like, you have to really understand that we have been, it's so sad. I've been thinking last night, it's so sad that humans have been reduced to just chattel or cattle. And we really have to take our power back in means of seeing ourselves, letting ourselves be human, enjoy things, no matter how mundane that might sound. Because before we know it, this all can be over, and all we done is just work our life away. And I know, yes, we need money and things like that, but at the same time, where is our quality of life? No one's just going to give it to us, basically. And I know this is even from a privileged standpoint of, in a lot of ways that's privileged thinking, but you almost have to indefinitely make time and steal your time back, or no one else would do it for you. We see how our countries treat old people, just throw them away. People with disabilities, throw them away. Every man for himself. So while you're able to make the decisions for yourself, why not start now to rest more? That's radical in a way to take care of yourself a little bit more extra, love on yourself a little bit more, so that we can even have energy a lot of times to think this shit through, to take action, to keep pushing the movements forward. But yeah.